my friends. It is I, Alphinius Goo, here at Gooey headquarters with CameraMandi behind the camera. Say hello, CameraMandi.
Hello.
Hello, friends. So we need to check something because I've had a couple of reports that CameraMandi, because she is kind of loud as an individual, as you know, is much louder than I in the stream. Is this true? We'll put a little note up in the chat.
Here, allow me to talk for a second.
Please,
so
speak.
That way we could test audio levels. Let me just ask you, how is your morning going, Alphinius? I heard you got to sleep in a little bit.
I did, yeah. So normally on these nights, CameraMandi, I tend to go to bed a little late, like 11 or 12 o'clock, right? And then I tend to get up about 5 to try to make sure I've got everything ready for you because I care so much about you, CameraMandi.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the love.
This morning I slept until 7 and I was really late. So
you weren't really late. You were 3 minutes early. You got here 3 minutes before the stream started.
And I'm not wearing my slippies either, which is great.
Yeah, so everyone's saying that it sounds great, sounds fine.
Okay,
so
good.
we are good to go.
Good. So we have a great show today. Yes, CameraMandi, all kinds of cool things
Absolutely.
to do.
And we actually have so much to do. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into
Do
our
it.
social media posts. Yeah.
Wait, I got one thing I want to say.
Oh, yeah,
I want to say this. I was driving in this morning and I happened to be talking to one of our marvelous friends, Josh, who has been doing all this, helping us along with many people to craft this marvelous world of Zyathé. And I am I was just filled with this sense of amazement, right? And I hung up with Josh and the Star Wars theme was playing, right? From The New Hope, right? From the first one, right? And I thought, man, how far we have come and how many gooey people we have and how amazing this world is becoming. And it is not just thanks to Alphinius and a couple of people sitting in the gooey tower, right? It is thanks to all of us making this thing special. And one of the things that set me off on this is Magicka. Because in Magicka, there are 17 people who are writing introductory essays based on their characters that they've had portraits made, all who are magic users. Is that not something amazing, CameraMandi?
I mean, I think all of our collective works that we have done have elevated what we were doing when it was just just the few people, and not to say that the people who we started with aren't incredibly talented.
No, it's just continuing to build the collaboration, right?
I mean, to have the ideas and the talent of so many different people, yes. I mean, it is incredibly special.
The tale grows in the telling, my friends, and it is thanks to all of us. It is a marvelous thing. Stay gooey. We will continue on this path. What's next, CameraMandi?
Okay, we're going to jump right in to our first little social media
post. This thing. I see what's coming up here.
Yes. So, listen, I'm just going to plug. Again, I mean, I know we would do it every week, but if you were not in the Gooey Game Masters Son of Enlightenment, I know there's a lot of people that we see on Twitch that I'm not sure what their names are. I know your name on Twitch and I know your name in
and their names on Discord, right? Their names are everywhere, handles everywhere. I know no one, right? Just
I understand some people aren't on Facebook, and that's understandable, but I am just saying we have so much fun in the Discord, the Discord, but also the Facebook.
Really
group.
The Facebook, because the Discord, Discord is more, at least as far as I can tell, right? It's more of a mediacy medium, right? So people chat there, you know what I'm saying? But this gives a person a chance they don't have to be there to enjoy the content later, right? That's kind of the issue, and we're working on trying to figure out how to make our Discord a little more enjoyable for the Discord-y folks. But it's just so much more of a conversation thing, So I don't know. It's just another thing we're going to work on this year, 2022. It's a New Year's resolution, as they say. And this is very much taking liberties. Lolo.
Actually, L
did this.
And then L came out at you with this one. So listen,
there are mean girls all over
Facebook, and my girls got my back. So thank you. Anyway,
I think we could move on from this. This is enough.
Sounds good. Listen, I love this card.
Oh yeah. Now you love him for a lot of reasons, I think. Yes. I am an equal opportunity throwing up really hot people.
I think that I just think who did it?
This is Abir.
Abir? Yeah. Okay, listen, Abir. Just stunning work.
Yeah,
I mean, the background, the clothes.
Can you zoom in on that guy? Zoom in on that face. You can't zoom in?
I can't zoom in,
We have to figure a zoom on this thing, so we can do it. But he is, he is really, I mean, we wanted to do some fun with bards and have them be, kind of bardy, and I'm certain that this guy could seduce just about anything. Yes, that's what I think. I looked like that when I was 20.
Okay, so this is from Ben. This is a new portrait
This is
that
Andreas.
we have. And this one I actually did have, so we could zoom in on. I just had it prepared.
Yeah, so this is Andreas, and Andreas made this marvelous Sealy Fea retouched character, and wanted to have a little bit of feel of Radagast and all of the. I mean, it's very, very cool. It's really wonderful, and we're going to show more portraits. We got to go back and get some other portraits. I can't even remember if we showed Kevin's marvelous portrait. There's a bunch of them that we need to show. But
that one says this guy wins for best hat.
Yeah, that is a great hat, and he's got that wonderful little, dark, shadowy thing on his brim. It's just wonderful. Yes, it's just. Andreas, I hope you are watching. It's marvelous.
Yeah, and I love all the new portraits that are coming out. So please keep them posting, even if you have an old portrait that hasn't been posted in a while.
Yes, Pamela. Pamela, are you there, Pam? Pam, say something in the chat so CameraMandi can see you. Are you there,
I've been chatting with Pam on the side, and I know that she's uploaded the new portrait to Discord as her profile.
Only Discord, Pamela. No Gooey Den. No tail that we can hear.
Listen, if you guys have portraits, even if they're not done by us, like even if you just have a cool character, like love them.
Pamela's portrait is amazing. I mean, really, really wonderful. She's got this wonderful little tale she's telling about it. It's really, really a great character.
That's awesome. Okay, so this went a little big. Hold on 1 second, guys.
That's all right.
I can't help it.
Is this a pun? Go ahead, CameraMandi. You can read it.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Just ignore how funky this looks on the screen right now. Okay. I know this is the stuff that drives me bonkers, but whatever. Okay. So this is a joke James came up with. And I will admit that I didn't understand it at first. And so I had Adam explain it to me. And I thought it was hilarious.
You can explain it to anyone who doesn't get it. Go ahead. Yes.
What title would you give to a fearsome Minotaur barbarian with a pirate background?
Arr.
He'd be the mad cow of disease.
Disease, yes.
Well, I got it after a second. It just took me a second to get it. It was the of in the middle that got me. Okay.
Yeah, James, thank you. It was funny. I laughed. I cackled out loud when I saw it. It was marvelous. Oh, yes, and here are the sisters. Yes.
So that's me in the middle, and then that's my sister Callie on the left, and my sister Becky on the middle, and we are holding up portraits of Alphinius
and Ms. Goo.
And I believe her name in the thing is Diana.
Diana. Yes.
So anyway, these are our godparents. So we were tickled at the end. We especially liked it when Ms. Goo came on, and
yes, she had a good attitude, right?
No, she said I didn't sign a release.
What did she say? Alphinius. Oh yeah, when she was in the thing, she said I didn't sign a release. Yes, but I meant in the adventure that Rob wrote. Alphinius Goo, and she grabs my ear and all this kind of stuff.
What have you done? Wait, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Sorry, guys. Okay, listen. Okay, so next up, I'm just featuring a few little artists that we have on that were posted. This one was posted by Keith.
Is this not beautiful? This is just wonderful.
And so if you Facebook Lisa Pluck, she has a whole Facebook page full of like incredible art like this. Yes. And so Keith posted this in the den, and I thought it was absolutely
And please, my friends, always when you post, try to credit the artist, right? Let's not grab art that we just pull off with no name or anything like that, because that tends to, obviously we're not doing it, but it tends to encourage piracy, and we'd like to avoid that as much as possible. So if you grab a piece of art, make sure it's got an artist credit and all that kind of stuff. So we're taking care of the people who have made this wonderful stuff, right? So that would be marvelous.
Absolutely. And then this is from Tabletop Witchcraft.
Not something?
Yeah, and I mean, obviously I pulled this because it looks so much like a Hanataz.
Yes. Well, if you've seen Corey's marvelous, carnival that he put together. He has like 5 or 6, 7 of these wagons that were printed, and this is just amazing. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So who posted that one?
Was that Jim? By Jim.
Yeah, Jim. That was marvelous, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so this was just a cute little story. So we played D&D with my 11-year-old cousin yesterday, and it was his first proper session. He had real bad luck with his dice rolls, and his elf just died. After a solemn pause, looking over his character sheet, he writes Junior next to his name and proclaims, "I am here to avenge my father."
Smart kid.
Yes.
Got some game already, barely even starting, yes? Yeah, it reminds me, I'll tell a quick tale. When Mike was very young, he'd watched us play for a couple of years. He was probably 10, 11 years old at this time, but he'd watched us play for a couple of years because he had to go to bed early. He was a kid, And finally, my friend said, you know what, let him play. right? Even though he is very young, I told him he couldn't play till he was 13, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so he got to play early. So we were playing the first adventure, right? And in those days, those of you who know about computer games from those days, you did a lot of saving, right? Because you had to save. But a lot of times in these DOS machines, you had to go to file save, right? So we went around the table because we're about to go in and fight this dragon, right? And we got to Mike, right? Little Mike, right? And we said, okay, Mike, what is your declaration? What do you do? And he says, file save, which was brilliant. Everybody laughed. And we knew he was going to be great in the group from then on. And it was marvelous. So, yes. Sometimes kids, they say the darndest things. Yes, it's
marvelous. Pretty adorable. That's a pretty adorable story.
Yes. It's been a long time since Mike was little. I hope you're watching, Mike, because that was fun.
Now he has a little.
Oh, yes. I wax nostalgic over this. So long, long ago, when Chapter 3 was going to be Chapter 1, we did a piece of artwork, which was Mevia doing the Phantom Dance. And she is, of course, a very important character in the Hanataz troupe. And when we changed everything up, she no longer was going to be the cover for the first chapter, nor the third chapter. Because now you are looking at the cover of what is the 6th chapter, which is going to be called A Dance with the Wicked. And it is perfect for that. But when you look at this, it's got so much magic, and you can just see, her eyes and her power, right? But also her grace, it is just a wonderful image. This was done by Levong, and literally, Mandy, you remember, it was one of the first ones we ever did, it's just so long. 2018, I think we did this, maybe early 2019. No, it's 2018, I know it. So it's just marvelous.
It is a very, intriguing, powerful, interesting image.
A spell dancer, the first we talked when we started talking about what does a spell dancer do? How do they entertain, right?
Because we need to do a whole section on spell dancers
in Magicka.
I meant on our show.
Oh, we should.
Yeah,
right.
we should definitely go into.
I got to do some artworks if we're going to do that. But yeah. I think spell dancers are marvelous. They're sort of part of this Hanataz culture, and obviously they're not just Hanataz, but they are certainly a big part of the traveling folk. And she is just, I mean, I was looking at it and I just went, wow, and a lot of people have said nice things, and there's been a lot of likes. So I'm glad everybody enjoyed seeing this one, especially if you haven't seen it for a long time, but you had seen it before.
Okay.
Maybe you're doing the Phantom Dance.
Yeah, absolutely stunning work. Also featured in our newsletter.
Yes. If you are getting the newsletter, make sure you check your spam folder because it's probably in there. So, CameraMandi, do you want me to do a little bit of announcements right now? Do you want to play your video? What do you want to do?
Let's start with announcements, and then we will be playing a new video that I finally have edited based off the Dungeon of Duanix setup that we had for our last Great Gooey giveaway.
So that's coming at Genghis Khan. Yes, here. End of February, right? February 24th, I think it is,
February
to the 27th.
24th at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we're just about to start getting advertising materials. I mean, we should probably just talk about it now that we're talking about it.
Let's do it. So, my friends, here's the deal. It's just like, for those of you who were around the first time, it's just like it. There's going to be a ton of prizes to give away. You don't have to be at Genghis Khan to participate. There's going to be a whole online team. You'll be able to power up your people. You'll be able to get prizes. You'll be able to win stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun, just like the last one, and probably a little better, right, CameraMandi? Because we got better equipment and we've got a little more experience,
I definitely think the technical side of it is going to be so much better. I mean, not to geek out, but Alphinius should just buy me this really nice camera gimbal. I am so excited.
She spends money like water.
All of this stuff takes finances. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be absolutely...
Gooey Cube continues to sink into the red.
Hey, we have another business in which it will be very useful for. We can justify it for the marketing.
It will be helpful in the other business, thank goodness.
Okay.
This is what we say all the time. We can use it in the other business.
I know, exactly. But yes, so the Gooey Genghis Khan is going to be similar in that there is going to be an online element. Instead of having the 4 separate teams online through the Discord, it'll be one team.
Everybody online will be the one team.
Will be Team Twitch. And then
Twitch.
We'll have 2 or 3 people playing. 3
in the audience. 3 audience teams.
Yeah, and we're trying to see if we can get some special guest to the table.
And we're doing our best. We're talking to some folks, see if we get some special guests. And what's wonderful about it is that already there's nigh on getting on 200 people who have signed up to attend the event.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Great.
already. It's getting towards closer to 200. 170 or something like that. I don't remember. I haven't looked in a while. But 160, maybe 170. I can't remember. Anyway, but there's also walk-ups available. I mean, it's gonna be standing room only. It's gonna be packed.
It's gonna be so much fun. And the best part about watching it from home is that you can watch it from your couch.
Indeed,
And
with a cup of coffee. And
Yeah.
since it's because it is in the morning. Now, some of you drink scotch in the morning, and I do not judge. I've had a little sip of scotch myself in the morning.
We're going down that road. This is taking a dark turn.
CameraMandi, how come I don't got no scotch? You think it's coffee, right?
Okay, here we go. No.
Anyway, you want to play the video? Or
Yeah,
you
let's
want,
play the video.
Since we're talking about that, then we'll come back to the other announcements.
Okay, so
This is really fun, y'all. It's good. It's really good.
Okay, here we go.
Indeed. What do you think, you all? How's the chat? Is it lighting up for you, CameraMandi?
There are some very nice comments in the chat right now.
Yes, indeed. And of course, people have asked, you know, this is part of my collection. This is why Ms. Goo is rarely happy when I purchase anything for this TTRPG thing that is in my blood. Yes, yes. But we have marvelous games. I promise you this. You know, we have some wonderful things. And actually, CameraMandi, I think I'm going to start playing a little bit more. You know, this is a wonderful thing. So we're working on that with kind of some of the creators who live around here, and we're talking about maybe trying to figure out if we might be able to do a game a little bit here and there to give the old man a chance to practice his skills again, you know. So.
I think that's a great idea. So I have a few questions. What software do I use?
Oh yeah, you should tell them.
Okay, for the live stream here, I'm using vMix.
vMix, right? Because that's the new one that you really like.
One, and this is a paid option, whereas before we were using a free option. And whilst it's not completely perfect, and I'm still learning it, it's awesome, and I love it. And then for the video editing, I use Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects
yes.
primarily, and I edit sound often in Adobe Audition.
Yeah, CameraMandi is very talented. You do not even know, right? I've worked with a lot of videographers and folks. She's good behind the camera. She's also good in editing. She's very good at visualizing things and scenes. Just very, very wonderful talent.
You don't have to.
You are my goddaughter. I must brag on you.
Okay, well,
right? Most of the time, I have to give you. I almost said it. I give you beep.
Yeah. So listen, we're talking about how we want to utilize this video for our advertising, and we want to hear from you guys about like how to best position this. Like my idea was to show this video with maybe a little clip in the front, and then show the video, and then have a tail end where we explain to new users what the Great Gooey giveaway is. And hopefully people will want to share that video. But if you guys have ideas about how we can kind of best position and utilize our advertising to catch the attention of new people and new viewers, please send it our direction.
And please do share when you see it. You know, get some people out there, because I think anybody who attends, right, this is going to be on Thursday night on February 24th at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. So it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be 6 p.m. in the Central Time. And for those of you in California and the West Coast, Washington and Oregon and all that stuff, Harry, you're going to get it at 4 o'clock. So you have to take off early that day. So anyway, our hope is that that we have a good time, and it's going to go for 3 hours, and it's going to benefit some charity. And by the way, I always want to say this, I am a big fan of Dwarven Forge. I think Stefan and his marvelous artwork and how his story, if you've ever heard his story, it is an incredible story. He is a magnificent artist. And the folks that are running that for him now and what they have done and making these incredible things for the tabletop. I just am so enamored with them, so much so that I spent far too much money than I should have. It's just the way it is.
You only have 2 storage units of stuff.
It's not that bad, CameraMandi. 1 storage unit.
One storage unit at an undisclosed location, and 1 storage unit at their house, aka an entire room of their house. But it's fine.
Anyway, so
everyone's saying I should add a maniacal laugh to this video, and I kind of agree. I will do that. I will add a maniacal.
Yeah, you got that close. Remember how you did? You will meet Malathuk at the bridge of the dead. Yes, Malathuk at the bridge of the dead. The lore of Zyathé grows every day. It is marvelous. So can I do the second announcement?
Absolutely. And I just want to say thank you guys all for your opinions in here. I'm taking note of them. And we will be posting this on Facebook and YouTube. And we will also be spending money, not just on this, but on several ads to try and promote the Great Gooey giveaway. So
we are just beginning I want to say this first. I have not selected the name yet. There are a couple 3 that I really like.
Start from the beginning of the contest.
There was a contest that we ran to name the little marvelous Underdelvian things, right? These little tiny guys that we decided we wanted to have in the world. And people really seem to like them. And they have a lot of cool artwork already been done, but we had never named them. We just called them the Underdelvians because they are from the far deep. They are from the down, right? And there's really been no lore about them to this point, just as with the Fire Race, which we have yet unnamed them as well. And there are more coming like this, which is the wonderful thing about Zyathé, right, is that we are revealing rather than everything all at once. You get to reveal and reveal and reveal, and an opportunity to participate in helping make the reveal, which is wonderful. Anyway, I'm looking at a couple 3 of these. I want to ponder them a little bit more, and then we're going to talk about it with the Goo crew. And I might actually make a little modification to one of them if that's the winner. But we are going to pick a winner here soon. Just give the old man a little more time, because I tend to ponder these things maybe more than I should, but I think it helps make the world better.
Are you getting emails from people being like, why haven't you chosen yet?
No, no one has asked.
So you see, you're fine, everyone.
No, but I just
anticipating.
No, I just want to. I just want people to know because we got to and we do our best. Honestly, I know a lot of people have won things, and we have game masters who have helped with us, and we have provided them with some giveaways and things like that. And some of those things have not been delivered yet because they're still being produced. And everyone is very patient. And I cannot tell you how wonderful that is to have this incredible community that really understands that, making stuff like this and making it great sometimes takes more time than you want it to, especially when you're dealing with the crazy world that we dealt with over the last 2 years. So, but I hope that it makes you happy that a 250-page book is now a 400-page book with much more lore and content and artworks. I hope it makes you happy that chapter freaking 4 barely fits in the box, right? There's just more than we ever promised originally. And since we're going to just go to 7 chapters, chapter 5 is going to be packed in there too. Chapter 6 is going to be packed in there too. And chapter 7 is going to be unbelievable. So I'm very, very excited for the Kickstarter, which we're going to do here in a couple 3 months. I'm not sure exactly when. We want to deliver more of our stuff first. Before we do that, we want to make sure all of our community feels well taken care of before we announce any of that kind of thing. But it is coming, and if you tell your friends and tell folks and just help us support that, we could use some help here in the next round. And again, most of this is going for product development. There's or paying a few salaries around here of people who do hard work for this wonderful world. And so anything you can do to help, and I promise it will be a great bunch of stuff. Okay, so I got the Underdelvians. Oh, yes, please.
Okay, I have a question for Mandy. Okay, so does CameraMandi have an ETA on the Hanataz video? So basically where we're at is that I will finish and polish off the video that I showed last week, which basically is just adding a tagline and our website, and I will post that next week. And then the second part of the video will be delayed until after the Great Gooey Genghis game show. I was hoping to get it done this week, but we had massive snowstorm and we were in the office for a few days. Yep. So I wasn't able to shoot it with Kimmy. And at this point, we were like less than 3 weeks away from Genghis Con. So I have to devote all of my attention to that and our marketing business for the next couple weeks. So,
real life, it's still there.
Yeah, so you will be able to show your players the first video that I have made, and then I will release this second video as it is intended, probably in March.
Marvelous. So, yes. So speaking of that, just so you all know, since you are Gooey people, if you are coming to Genghis, there is a party, a secret party. Well, it's not very secret, but it is definitely going to be by invitation only. There's going to be some Genghis people invited and Gooey people invited, and it's going to be, I think starts at 10 o'clock on Saturday night. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll have some munchies, and maybe there'll be a little libation, but you might have to pay for that one. But it'll be a fun party. So just put that in your mind, because if you're a Gooey person, you really don't need any paperwork or any kind of thing like that. You just walk up to the door and say, I am Gooey, right? And we will admit you to the secret party.
Secret code.
I am Gooey. Yes. Okay, put that in your mind. Yes, you are Gooey. But there's a lot of Gooey people coming to Genghis Con, CameraMandi. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We're going to have a blast. If you are coming, please let me know. I will be shooting a documentary while we are out there, or interviews. And I want to get as many of our people as I can, pull them aside, do some interviews, especially like if you're a contributor. I want to do a video on what it's like to do Contributors Guild for new people who might be interested.
Speaking of contributors, obviously we are getting close to the end of the next the submission round. So if you are a contributor and you're kind of stalling out a little bit, you still got a little time. I think it's February 15th is when the contributions are due, and this is a interesting NPC for the Gloomsport, and a little event or encounter involving that NPC. It shouldn't be much more than 3 or 4 paragraphs of work. Do not worry if you're not a great writer. It is okay. That's what editors are for. And we will give you a nice little reward for this. We got wonderful things that are typically worth $15, $20. And so you get a little compensation for a page, half a page to a page of work, which is good little compensation. And I always just tell everybody, never give us anything that you think is really special. There are so many characters that you have and so many people that you know. Don't give us one that you in your mind think maybe someday I'll write a tale about this one and put it in a game, or maybe I'll write a novel about this one. Don't give us that one, because it does become Gooey Cube's property. So it's very important that you don't do anything, don't give us anything that's super special. Just give us something that's cool. That's enough, right, CameraMandi?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I can attest, I wrote a little something for one of the books. I'm not sure which one, for Christy.
Yes.
But I have written other things for like the website, and AJ has taken my really crappy writing, which I thought was
not
fine.
Crappy.
I thought it was fine. It just, and he made it art. It was like, oh, there. So now that's what I do for him. I'm like, here's bullet points, just make it beautiful.
Yes, AJ, we thank you, man. You're a great writer, and glad you crossed paths with us. And we have many great writers who have done wonderful things. And speaking of that, we just had Nate on. Thank you, Nate, again for joining us for the last part of the Vyndraxia tour, and we're going to finish that tour today.
We are.
And then I got one more announcement that I want to make sure. So we are also starting right now, just as we did with Darkenhaven, we are building the Gloomsport group for doing writing for the Gloomsport. Now, this is a little bit beyond what we would call a contribution. And it's going to take a little more commitment on your part, and there is compensation for doing so. But really, you need to be a contributor first. You need to kind of show us a little bit about your commitment and your capabilities and all that kind of stuff. That is what we really want folks to be doing first. That's sort of the first step in sort of moving forward and becoming more of a contributing author. And we want to make sure that you kind of follow those steps. And especially new people who are just here for the first time, because we've had experiences where new people come and they get really excited, they want to do stuff, and then, they find out it's kind of hard to write 5 or 6 pages, or something that's really cool, and they kind of fade away. So that's why it's always best to start with a little step and then see how the next step goes. But if you are interested in that, if this is something you might want to participate in, please send me, absolutely me, on the Facebook, send me a direct message, or on the Discord, send me a direct message, and we will see if we can involve you in that project. Again, it will be like Dark and Haven. It won't be over the top. There's not going to be anybody who's having to do a significant amount of work, except for sort of our main contributing authors who I've already sort of identified. So I think it'll be fun. There'll be a nice little reward for it, potentially some compensation depending on how much work you do, and you get to help make the Gloom-port, which is my favorite place in Zyathé, bar none. Bar none.
Oh wow, favoritism.
Oh, the Gloom-port is. Shame. The Gloom-port has been in my mind for 25 years.
It is. It is absolutely stunning, and as the art is starting to come in, it's going to be so cool. Yes. It is. It's going to be a magical place for you to take your players on an adventure in, and not just a pre-written adventure, but you can take the materials that they are working on and write your own tale. And I love the idea. There's a book series called, I think it's NPCs by Drew Hayes.
Okay.
And the idea of this book series is that the characters in a module are real. And so all of these other players, so the NPCs are like alive, and then all these other characters come in and interact, and they remember them. And I love the idea that this place somewhere in the world, this Gloom-port and Zyathé, everyone's having their own adventures there. And
with their own take on the tales, right? It goes this way, it goes that way,
and
right? This is the wonderful
actually
thing.
Interacting with all of it. And like, I just love that idea.
And so, everybody's going to be trying to kill Kalnavik and Zoldothrin, right? This is going to be marvelous, right? The two Dark Lords of the month, like 3 months ago. Before you, CameraMandi.
Okay, yeah. He was the original Dark Lord.
Now, anyway. I don't know about Hernesh. This is an interesting thing, right, Jim? This is an interesting thing about Hernesh. So we'll have to see. Hernesh is Magdronog. We're getting off track. Okay,
we have so much to
I think I have gotten all of the announcements. I think that is everything, except for the Kickstarter. Just everyone knows the map packs are going to press for final. I found an error on a couple of the maps, so we had to fix. So we fixed those. And East Verdestia is printing and binding. So we're printing sections and binding them. I think we have 150 of them that delivered to the Gooey headquarters. And so some of you are going to start maybe seeing some packages in your mail here with East Verdestia. And that dang book is 400 pages with wonderful, amazing lore. And that's part of what we're talking about here, one of those areas, which is Vyndraxia, right? Which is the northern area of the East Verdestian portion of the continent. So the thing we were going to do last was the monsters, but I added a little more because I'm like, Bilbo, that guy.
Yeah, the art is so beautiful. Also, I like what Kim and Nora said. She says, CameraMandi, the usurper. I just feel like that is such a beautiful name.
I want to be the usurper.
I know. I think that I'm going to stick with that.
I feel a meme storm coming on.
Oh, goodness. Everyone get out of the den now. Get out now.
So the monsters, we showed a lot of the creatures, right? We showed, like the Ursuun, the Warus.
Yeah, what is the difference between, I was actually wondering this, what is the difference between creatures and monsters?
Monsters are more fantastical probably than the creatures, but they certainly has a gray line, right? This is the idea, right? There's a line, right? Because honestly, dragons, true dragons, are not monsters at all. They're beings, right? And so this is just a fine line, but you'll see as we go through this why we sort of call them monsters, right? Because trolls tend to be more monstrous than ogres. They're really savage, right? They clan well, but when they're clan together, they just beat on each other, and it's just the way we kind of do things. So
technicalities, I feel, but that's fine.
Well, of course, here we are right at the beginning with the first slide of the monsters, right? Because the Dawnspire Mountains, right? This Dawnspires, which are some of the highest mountains in the entire world of Zyathé, are also one of the greatest concentrations of true dragons in the world. And so though they are not monsters, some of them do not take kindly to the tribes. They just see them as much as anything else as prey. There are many dragons of the world, true dragons of the world, that really hate the other races of what we call hominids. And the reason why they hate the races of hominids is because of the Woe of Ruin. They believe that they actually caused it. And so these dragons do not have to necessarily be evil or good or any of that kind of stuff.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes,
Is the woe of ruin a big deal inside? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
CameraMandi, I'm assigning you to read the entire Cyclopedia Zyathé Volume 1 before next weekend.
I'm just kidding. I know.
To the Ensandra Oz, it is a big deal, right? Because they are free.
Free, yes.
Is that not a great tale?
It is such a great tale, and I actually really loved role-playing one in Strangely Gooey Holiday. I had a great time with that.
Yeah, well, we're going to, I think next show, remember this now, CameraMandi, next show, because Corey helped us with actually creating the initial 3 races, the Ensandra Oz, the Fazud, right? And the, goodness gracious, and the Skundrus, okay? So I want to show those on the next show and do a little talking about them because a lot of people are interested in these. So just remind me of that. Don't let me forget that. And we also got to show some portraits on the next because we're portrait backed up, right? You know, we need a plumber or something like that.
I have a plumber.
Call him, hey, plumber man.
Oh my gosh, we have gotten off track.
We have off track.
Although,
any things in the chat I need to be thinking about right now?
No, everyone appreciated my a big deal joke.
Well, and I'm also pretty excited because I've talked to Josh and Kaya, and they're going to come on and do a little chatting when we talk about Valandia. And I'm excited because AJ and Keith and Jim, I think, are going to come join us when we talk about the Ajvindun. And Corey has already told me he's up for talking about Vanzentia.
I love this.
So we're going to have some of the folks who have really helped make East Verdestia special on the show, and you'll be able to hear from them a little bit too.
I love this. Hold on. Oh, so first off, I love that people are going to come on.
Isn't that fun?
But I love this comment from, where did it go?
You need to have that thing like Lawrence does that pops it up. So you can just pop
I'm
it
working.
up.
That's one of the things I have to figure out with this program. That's a StreamYard specific thing.
But
it was basically to the effect of, it was such a long time ago. Why are they still mad?
Yeah, well, they just kind of get over it, right? Well, true dragons live a long time, right, and hibernate a long time. That was sort of the trade-off that the gods made with Rakandra and Zendraka when they actually allowed them to be made, was that they would, since they had such a long lifespan, and sort of had a lot of advantages, right? The other gods were like, these are way cooler than my race, right? So they kind of had a trade-off, and that's how sort of the true dragons of the world were able to become actually part of the world. Great dragon lores coming too, right? Christina wants to help with that. Kerry already has. Jason wants to help with that. We're excited about true dragons and the supplement hopefully that we will do in 2022 around this, because a lot of people want to know. So the thing about Vyndraxia is because there's a lot of weird stuff there, right? It's not just the corruption magics, right? It's not just the seeping of the nether flow into all things. It is also this influence of outsiders, in particular abyssal outsiders, and in particular of that, the devils, right? The ones from the lawful evil sort of side of things, because Vyndraxia, when it was an actual nation, consorted with these beings, and consorted to the point where there are actually some sired individuals. Now, be clear about this. In Zyathé, in the Eterniverse, you don't just go, hang out with an outsider, drink a couple of vodka martinis, kissy, and the next thing you know, that pops a little half devil baby. This is not what happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
So how did I do with that? Was that pretty good, CameraMandi?
PG-13.
That's why I kept it right there.
That's what I was going to say.
PG-13.
I know.
So anyway, it actually is a very rare occurrence. The actual conception is very rare. On top of that,
oh my God, why am I
this is
thinking
important.
about this right
Just
now?
come on, Mandy, you'll be fine. Just take a deep breath. She's turning red. It's kind of funny right now. And maybe I should go deeper. Right? No. So anyway, so this is rare. But then on top of that, unfortunately, it can have very dire consequences if the consort is a mortal female. So it's not really something that most people really desire to do, right? And so it is rare. So this is important to understand, right? We want to keep in this world as we create it, we want to keep the fantastical, fantastical. And the only way you can keep the fantastical, fantastical is by not having it be just super common and everywhere and all of that stuff. And this really, I think, makes for a better and richer world. So just as you're producing things, as you're thinking about your contributions and all of that stuff, put that in the back of your mind, because that is very important to the world of Zyathé. Yes, my dear.
I have a question from Peter Andrew Payson.
Andy, hello, my friend. Congratulations on winning last week. Marvelous.
Don't dragons also have genetic memory that the parents' memories are handed down to the next generation?
So this is something we are talking about. We have not determined. Okay, so this is because that is lore from another place, right? And so we are not sure about that. So this is something we are sort of discussing. How does that go? What happens with that? And so no matter what, though, there are still dragons that lived through the Woe of Ruin alive now in Zyathé. And certainly they have passed down to their first sires, right? These hominids are, a waste of space, right? Some of them, right? And so in Vyndraxia, this is why we showed it, right? These dragons can sometimes wreak havoc on the tribes there, and it can be problematic. But they are not the only ones. Go ahead, CameraMandi.
There is some support in the chat about that idea.
No, it's not a bad idea. It is in our minds. It is something that we have been chatting about a little bit long time ago about, because this is lore exists, right? And so there's some good reason to have it, right? There's some good reason, right? It's not a no. It is we are thinking about it, right? Kind of dancing it, right? As we dance the whole lore of Zyathé.
And we have one more question about dragons.
Yes.
Do dragons have innate spellcasting and shape-shifting?
Dragons have innate capabilities to do magic without question. They are the most magical creatures probably on the face of Zyathé. As to this polymorph and then go, produce lots of babies and all of this kind of stuff, we aren't sure about that. We put the blood touch purposefully into Zyathé so that people could play pretty much any character, any creature, anything that they wanted to do based on the blood touch. And so some of the more ancillary peoples that sort of popped up in other lore, I'm not sure they're going to be in Zyathé. We want Zyathé to have its own uniqueness and its own specialness. And so we're going to, and I promise you, I think the races we already have are very good. And I think the peoples that we are making that are coming are even more interesting than sort of the ones we began with. And then on top of that, if everything goes the way we hope it goes, and that's why I'm hoping many of you will look at the 3 races that we have produced. If you are in the Kickstarter, you get them. You get digitals, and some of you get printed copies for free, right? I hope you will look at them and see what we did in terms of these sort of racial things that go along with their people, right? The physicalness, the changes, right? It is not make 1 to their stats up here or make minus to their stats down there. It's lots of other cool things we think are going to be a lot of fun as people play these races. And we're going to do it on the traditional ones as well. So dwarves are going to be different in Zyathé than they are probably as you play them in your world as we progress in this world building that we're doing together. So it's marvelous. So there are strange elemental beings that reside in this Vyndraxian area. And this is a perfect, I happen to find this image, and it's just a perfect kind of a feel image of these creatures. They are big and they're scary, and the tribes have to deal with them. And sometimes they deal with the tribes. So it is not a place to go for the faint of heart, as Nate said last week, right? And I do want to make a shout out to Michael and to Jason, who also helped marvelously with Vyndraxia to help make it really, really special. So there are also these sort of northern trolls, right? Which they are very resistant to cold, and they are savage, and they are not very, very kind. And they, really look at hominids definitely much more than even the true dragons do. They look at hominids as food. And so there's a lot of conflict with these kinds of creatures as well. But because of all the war and all the things that happened and all the death that happens in Vyndraxia, there are also undead. And these undead, because of the magics in the area, are sort of shaped by the cold. They're sort of shaped by the environment. And their powers come from those things. So when you see the Monstrica, the Encyclopedia Monstrica, for this first continent, which is Vyndraxia, which is Verdestia, you will find that there are some undeads that have some more unique powers that are not typical. So, right, you run into a white, everybody knows what a white does. But as you know, in Zyathé, in this world that we are making, we have a lot of surprises for players, because we don't want people using their metagame knowledge from the 20 years that they've been playing to know exactly what they're facing. I don't
think people do that.
Never.
I don't think so.
Never.
I think they are perfect.
All right, show of hands in the chat. How many people know people who have metagamed their monsters? Come on, tell the truth. Don't lie. Raise your little hands. All right. So the same thing with, we have winter wraiths, and these are marvelous creatures as well, with this power of this sort of cold thing that's going to go on with them, and very, very excited. Now, there's another thing we're contemplating, which we have not decided upon fully yet, but we are thinking that there are wyvern, and you can go to the next one, CameraMandi, that actually, because of the creation of these were one of the early creations of Vyndraxia, of Dracondra, before she got to true dragons, right? And then was helped by Vyndraxia to make true dragons, along with some other gods. She made the wyvern and the dragon, right? And the Draktis and some of these other creatures that just ended up being creatures. They do not have enough intelligence to really have a society, right? They just don't have it. You know, they're just creatures, beasts like cows, moo, like chug. Ha ha!
I don't love that you just mooed.
Sorry about that. Let's continue. Anyway, there is some rumor that some wyvern can breathe flame, but we don't know that yet. It is a tale still in the telling. We shall see. But wyvern, because they're so cool, are up there, right? You've seen the Draktis, we showed that earlier. There are these sort of ice ghoulic creatures that are raised up from the dead, and there are so many wonderful monsters in Vyndraxia. And so now we're going to finish off the tour with the last little thing, which is just a little bit of lore about some very special locations. Are there any questions about monsters before we continue?
No, but before we move on, I have to say I was wrong. Apparently, players do metagame. I mean, what? Mind blown.
Never.
the chat blew up. The chat blew up. They're like, yeah, all my players.
Oh, yes.
This is why we changed them.
That's right.
So,
So that's why the
wrong.
monsters, right, have all right. We don't just don't have standard zombies. We have walkers, and these walkers have different powers, though they look very much the same. So this will stop a lot of this stuff, and frankly, honestly, make it more fun for your players.
Yeah.
Right? Because
it is more fun. I mean, it's fun when you go up against something that you've seen before and like now know how to conquer it when before it kicked your butt. But it's not fun if you know the stats and know what, you know.
my friends, I believe with all my heart, combat is fun. Role play is fun. All of these things bring so much to the game. But mystery and discovery are what get most players the chills up the back of their necks. It's just the way it is. Trust an old wizard. I'm telling you the truth. Mystery and discovery make tables go whoa if you've done it right. Yes, indeed. So let's do a little lore.
Yeah, let's do lore because we have to.
Yeah, we got to finish with the Naetherdark.
We're at 10:48.
Oh, we're doing great. We're doing great.
We're going to go over a little bit because we still have the Nether Deep.
We're going to do great. I got this.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so show us the next slide.
Okay.
So this is important that you understand that we are talking about right now the Vyndraxian wastes. The wastes are the most forlorn, if you will, of the territories, right? More than the tundra. There are still Quenda here. There are still Korat and other beasts. There are certainly creatures that have adapted themselves well to live in these very, very cold climes. But this is harsh. This is a place that you go, right? People run here, right? People who are being sought, right? Some people who have been, you know, the Valandians are trying to get them, have come here. And some of them die because this is not a place for the faint of heart nor the faint of body, right? So we are very excited about the wastes because there are also, go to the next slide, please, CameraMandi. There are also a lot of Vyndraxian ruins here. And there is lore around some of them in the East Vedestia tome. But there are other ruins that there is no lore around that are just for your tales. You can name them, you can add to them, you can bring your own spice to the stew, as they say. But I love the feel of it right now. Of course, this is the wastes in sort of the summertime, right? This is the waste in sort of the few months where it is nice. But goodness gracious, when you ponder what it looks like in the snow. CameraMandi, what do you do when you're on camera and you have to sneeze? Do you do this?
You definitely cover your mic and turn away.
Yes, I have sneezed on camera for the first time ever. That is marvelous. It is a thing, CameraMandi. You'll probably take it and make it some kind of goofy thing.
No.
Don't do it. Leave it. Anyway, we want to get you a feel also for how the people live, right? So this is one of the artworks that we have that we did not include because we're running out of space, obviously, with 400 pages. But we're trying to put together artwork packs for each one of the books to let you who have gotten the books be able to add to your artwork samplings and be able to show sort of when they're traveling, when they're going different places, give them the feel of the wastes, give them the feel of the tundra, right? So this is a wonderful little piece of art and give you an idea. This is actually a trader. There's trading here. This is a store, right, in the middle of the wastes. So it just is it not wonderful? I mean, it's just what the feel of it, right?
Lots of support in the chat for these art packs. Also, I do love the idea that like at some point this will be abandoned and then you'll just come across this like spooky little cottage thing.
Indeed.
Love that.
Now, if we go back real quick to the map, one of the most important places of the Vyndraxian area is that huge chasm that runs down the middle, which is called Worm Death Chasm. Now, for some reason, even before the Woe of Ruin, for centuries and centuries and centuries, dragons, true dragons, have come to Worm Death Chasm to die. This is where they go. And so, CameraMandi, if you want to go to the next one after the one we just showed, we have a wonderful piece of artwork of Worm Death Chasm. And there are two shrines here. There are two churches, temples, one of Vyndraxia and one of Dracundra. And there are many, many priests and agents and warders and depravants, if you are on the side of Dracundra, and egalitans, if you are, paladins, I believe Vyndraxia is the lawful, is in the good side. Vyndraxia, paladins, if you are on the Vyndraxian side. And they have an uneasy détente between the two of them. And what they do is try to protect the chasm from interlopers, because the magic of the dying dragons is powerful. Parts within the draconic beings have power. And so these individuals here try to give the dragons their true rest and not allow others to come and defile them. So this Worm Death Chasm, we're going to do an adventure about it someday. I don't know when, but it is going to be amazing, right? Because you've got this wonderful tension between the two temples, right? You've got all of this stuff going on in the chasm, and then you have all these interlopers trying to come in there and try to intercede. There are also some of the barbarian tribes that consider Worm Death Chasm sacred. So they actually aid the temples in protecting the chasm from interlopers. But that does not mean they don't come there. There are also rumored to be some caverns and places in the Underdelve beneath Worm Death that have strange things going on. But this is a tale still in the telling. But I love Worm Death Chasm. I love the potential of it. I think it has been around for a long time here at the Gooey thing we've been doing. It has been in our minds, and we thought it was really cool lore.
And there is a YouTube video. Oh, we've done this. We've actually done a whole.
We did a whole thing
on it in one of our previous Goo Morning Zyathé episodes, and it'll be on our YouTube channel labeled as Worm Death Chasm.
Yes, it is really a wonderful, wonderful place. And here you see one of the priests from the Vyndraxian temple, right, communing with a draconic spirit.
Yes.
Now there is also a sect. This is a secret I'm going to tell you. There is a sect within. And they are trying to root them out, but they can't find them, right? There is a sect within the Dracundric temple that believe that dragons can be born back and brought back in undeath. And they have succeeded at least one time when they brought back the Grave Lord, who was the savior of Vyndraxia, right? And that Grave Lord now resides in Sha'adum's citadel, far to the south, in the mountains, at the edge of the wastes, at the edge of the tundra and the Avoda-Malu. Marvelous lore, marvelous lore. Just so, you just sit there and you think about it. You think about the potential for your players, just hearing the tale. And all of a sudden they're like, whoa, right? I think it is spectacular, spectacular. And it grew in the telling with Jason and Michael and Nate, and it began with AJ and me, and it's just wonderful. It's just so good. Go ahead, CameraMandi.
2 questions. Do the dragons from other continents go to Worm Death Chasm?
Some, indeed, they do. But there are interesting things that there are potentially one other place in the world where they go. There may be a second. We are playing this as we go forward because the tale is still growing, right, my friends? What do you think? Should there be more than one, or should there be only one? Go ahead, throw some answers up in the chat. Would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, we love it.
Aha! What's the second question?
This is from Kiminora. What if a spell dancer could do their dance thing with a dragon spirit?
Dance with the spirits. They could, well, listen, the phantom dance brings forth spirits, right? This is the idea of it, right? Who knows what a 20th level spell dancer might be able to bring forth. Yes, my friend? Aha, Christina! I know you love the dragons. Haha, I do too. All right, let us go on. Another question?
No, just comments. There should be an unknown amount. There should be more than one. There is another one. So they should be rare, but more than one could be cool.
I think that's
I'm just reading off what they have
I think there should be other places, at least maybe 1 or 2 other places. We shall see. So this is the tundra. And again, we're just doing a little bit of lore. There's so much lore around all these places, right? You even got the Egg of Kruut, which we talked about last week, which I'm very hopeful that our marvelous friend Egg, who told me he wanted to do an adventure with us, and I'm really hoping it can be an adventure to the Egg of Kruut. I think it would be unbelievable to have Egg Embry be the co-author on the Egg of Kruut. So we'll see what happens with that. This is all the 22 stuff, all the craziness that we're trying to do. I don't know how it's going to all work out, but it sure is fun. But here, what I want to show you is, do you see on the far southern, the south western corner there, CameraMandi? You see on the map, you see that southwestern corner there? You can kind of whip your little mouse around it, and on the one we have right there.
They can't see my mouse.
Oh, they can't see your mouse?
No.
I didn't know that. I thought you had a little pointer. We need a pointer. But anyway, down in the southwestern corner, you see these spires, right? Mm-hmm. So these are called the Blood Spires, and they appeared after the Woe of Ruin. And we have some marvelous artwork that Kishore did.
Yeah.
Is that not something?
Blown away. This is the part of the tour that made me so excited. And there will definitely be a scenescape of this.
Oh yes,
with
the intensity, right? Because here's where you find many griffin, right? Many Dractis, right? The wyvern, yes, they abide here, right? And giant birds, right? And they are in competition with each other, as well as, of course, grabbing the Quenda and the Korat and other creatures from the wastes, from the tundra. So this is just a wonderful ecosystem with some really scary creatures. And there are rumored to be ruins amongst the Blood Spires with Aethernic secrets. Indeed, I'm going to show you one in a moment that is in our minds. In fact, let's do it now. Even though it is my climactic slide, CameraMandi, I'm going to show it now.
Oh, so it's the last one?
The last one. The tales go that the Aetherns could do incredible things with their technic mastery combined with the high magics. Not just to make cities fly, but also to create these skyships. Do you see it, CameraMandi? Is that not marvelous?
Yeah, I think everyone is going to want this as a client.
This is Galganoth. And Galganoth was the largest, the most famous and the largest of the skyships of the Aetherns. And it is said, somewhere in the wastes or in the tundra, it crashed. In the aftermath of the woe.
I have chills.
Now we have a place to see what we will see. And so this is a rumor. It is not even in the East Verdestia tome, because tales are going to grow in the telling as we continue, my friends. And I am excited to do this with you. I am excited to dance this dance with all of you as we dance it together. So, is that not marvelous, CameraMandi?
I have my mouth agape. I am loving this. I love the idea that it is a rumor, because adventurers, this is the kind of treasure I'm sure they would seek out.
There must be artifacts, right?
Exactly.
In the
there
ruins,
must be.
yes?
They must try and go find where this location is.
Yes.
Oh, blown away.
So there really are 2 really crazy Aethernic locations in East Verdestia, if this is true. Now, again, this is but rumor. We might find out that Galganoth did not crash here. which is part of the thing, right? That's part of the greatness of it, the fun. We might find that it crashed somewhere else, but certainly we all know that Amosthal is here, the last flying city of the Aetherns that lies cantered in the sky above the Nethershade Valley.
Or maybe it didn't crash. I'm just going to put this out
and
there.
And it escaped?
And they put the rumor out there that it did crash, so that way... No
this is like Battlestar Galactica.
I'm just saying.
There's only one left, trying to escape from the dreaded Cylons. Yes. Man, I am old.
Do you want to finish the rest of the
Yes, I want to show you said about abandoned villages.
Yes.
Absolutely. Look at this. All over the place, right? Because tribes come into conflict with tribes, dragons come and devastate, right? Strange, huge troll attacks, right? And all of a sudden, oh, you came to the next one fast. I'll do it. It's okay.
I'm sorry. I thought that the dragon's attacking, and I realized
no,
that's not blood. That's something
this is the last of the couple things. This is the last slide we're going to show today.
Right.
Because it is rumored that in the wastes and the tundra, even though it is extraordinarily dangerous and very rare, that some of the barbarians are able to ride the wyvern. Indeed, indeed. And that, my friends, concludes our tour of marvelous Vyndraxia. Is it not wonderful?
If I knew how to do a low whistle, I would do it. Like, I don't know how to low whistle. Yeah.
I'm not a great whistler either.
Okay, so hang out with us if you guys want to do the.
We're going to do the Naetherdark. Naetherdark.
Sorry, the Naetherdark. Riley, if you can go ahead and pop into that. Riley.
Yes, Riley. Is Riley here? Is Riley around?
Riley should be popping in. Oops,
marvelous.
What have I done here? Cut. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in the corner.
Wait, let me fix this because you're so tiny in the corner.
I'm so little. I have a little tiny head.
Hold on, I'm gonna fix that.
I have a little itty bitty head. I'm like Thrud. You know about Thrud? Who knows about Thrud?
What is Thrud?
You don't know about Thrud, CameraMandi? Thrud is like the most famous barbarian behind Conan. Is that true, chat? Is Thrud the second most famous barbarian behind Conan? I must know. I must know your thoughts. And if you got another one, throw her up there. I don't care.
What are you talking about?
Thrud is a huge barbarian with a little teeny pinhead.
Okay.
In fact, I wish I had somebody put a picture of Thrud up somewhere. Next week, CameraMandi, we're going to show Thrud.
Okay, just so this all makes sense. Okay.
Yes. All right, so go to the title slide, right? So we had to change this, right? Because it's no longer the Netherdeep. It is now the Naetherdark, yes? And we are in the, and this is the last of the introductions, okay? So we have given everybody a chance to sort of get introduced to this, right? This is kind of fun. We've had a chance. And the winner of today's the questions, right? The questions will get a character folio. So that's what we're doing today. So Riley, make sure you put that down. So we'll have 3 winners today that'll win a character folio. But remember, in the future, we might only do 1 question that is a winner, okay? But every question matters because Riley is going to keep track of how many times you were right, and you're going to get extra entries in the big prize at the end, which I've already told folks might be a little shopping spree. We're still thinking about it. It might be a portraited character if you want to do that, something, but it will be special. It will be something not of good value. And we might even give people choices because someone might have gotten a portrait already and they don't want another one, or they might have chapter 4 and they don't want another chapter 4, whatever it happens to be. So
there's no such thing as too many character folios.
I agree with that.
Because everyone has so many characters, I'm sure.
Pencil only, my friends. Pencil only. No pens, no dry erase. Pencil only on these. These are our artist Edvard made these with Mike. They worked very, very hard on them. They are beautiful. So every one of the three questions that you're going to be answered here in a minute, every one of you will win one of those. But this is the last of the introductions, and starting when we go next game, next time we play the Netherdeep, the Naetherdark.
You got this.
Then they will be real questions with only 1 answer winner, and everyone will be accumulating their points for when we finish the adventure. So excited to do this. So as you will recall, CameraMandi, are you in a place? I know you're getting a text. I can see that. Right now.
I'm texting.
Are you in a place where you can show the next?
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. You talk while I get hooked up.
Yes. So you are in the Bleakwater Station. You can show the next one real quick and then go back to this one. So you're in the Bleakwater Station, my friends. This is what we happened, right? With a pair of scoundrels. And you can go to the next one and then pop back, CameraMandi. with this dark elven, kind of quiet, creepy guy, and this sort of boisterous dwarf. You can go to the dwarf right now, right? And as we will recall, to the right, there you go.
Sorry,
yes.
I just heard Riley come on. You're going to need to plug in your headphone.
Well, you just tell me. It'll be all right.
Okay, that's
It'll be all right. So with this kind of boisterous dwarf, and if you will recall from the last episode, a really interesting character came walking up to your table and said, I could not help but overhear what you were talking about. You're going on an adventure, and I would love to come with you. I am Lokebutt, and I am very capable on an adventure. A bard, I am. A bard, yes, I am. So he came up and he said he wanted to come with you. So apparently you're going to have this crazy individual going along with you on this adventure. But the dwarf doesn't seem to take kindly to this bard, right? Kind of gives him a side look, and all that stuff. And he says, well, you can bring him along if you want, but I wouldn't do it. And he slaps a map down on the table. Now you can go back to the map, CameraMandi. And he says, so this be the path that we're going to be taking. You can look along the road as it goes to the cairn, along the river. Can you see it right there? And what will happen to you as we go along the river is we're going to pass by the Glamour Wood. Yes, the Glamour Wood. And you can go to the next thing, and then the map kind of zooms in a little bit, amazingly, almost magically.
It was magically.
Ooh, right? And our trip will not be safe as we go along the Glamour Wood. For it is there that the Lord of Hues holds sway. And you can go ahead and show the next image. Not that one.
Sorry, he said Lord of Hues.
The next image.
I'm sorry, all.
Totally blew my climax. Anyway, so this would seem fey and seem strange, but safe in many ways to those who might pass by. But it ain't. No, you don't be a fool. For though there be beautiful unicorn therein and other wonderful... Go ahead, CameraMandi, the next slide. But Lawrence is better at this than you are.
Let me ask you, though, like, it's all magically, like, appearing on the...
It's called the Glamour Wood.
No, I'm saying, like, on the map. Is it, like, suddenly, like, showing all of these things that
yes, they're
Harry's
just popping
about?
up right in front of them. They're little holograms.
It's like a little hologram slideshow. Okay, I was just making sure, because,
So though there be many wondrous creatures therein, and not much evil, so to speak, there are the courts that serve the Lord of Hues. Go ahead, show us this. This be a guinea fink. Some of you have seen this, one of my favorites. This is one of the unseelie court members, a magical creature with much mischief, as they all have in their hearts. And there are many different Feyari in the courts, and we are developing these right now. That's what Teok says. At least that's what he says. We are developing these right now. And this one I just showed this morning. This is a Scroogan. Yeah, not so much mischief, but maliciousness in their hearts.
Or that could just be a stereotype. I should say that as like, that could be just a stereotype.
And of course, we will finish our little start here, our introduction. This is it. This is the last time we will introduce. We'll finish by this wonderful tribute that Carrie and I came to together, and she really thought she brought it to the table, and I agreed with her marvelous idea, and so this is a tribute to wonderful David Bowie and the incredible artistry of his life. And this is the Lord of Hues, and obviously it is not David Bowie. We would not use his image without his permission, of course, or his next of kin.
Inspired by.
But it is inspired by this wonderful artist who lived in our real world. So this is the Lord of Hues. And the Lord of Hues, he done hold sway over the entirety of the Glamour Wood. The elves that live therein bow the knee to him. The seelie and the unseelie don't fight with each other, for they also bow the knee to him. So when we're walking along the fringe, you need to know none of them are your friends. But before we go on this quest, I need you to answer a couple of questions just to make sure I know you know what you're doing. So, here's the first question. Are we worried about encountering, answer A, Funny gunks. Answer B, goony flunks. Answer C, guinea finks. Or answer D, hoggle-boggles. Make your answer. Exclamation point A. Exclamation point B. Exclamation point C. Or exclamation point D.
Make sure you are putting the exclamation point before the letter.
Yes. So, this is what you got to do.
Namaste,
if you don't do that, you ain't getting no love. Okay. Exclamation point A. Exclamation point B. Yep. Exclamation point C. Or exclamation point D. And one of you will be selected for a winner. Yes. And when you are selected for the winner, you're going to get sent a folio. But only once we determine that winner. Sorry, I'm kind of bouncing between Alphinius and Tiok right now. Does that make sense?
Is again going with the D.
The hoggle-boggles? Yes, it must be a hoggle-boggle. Don't you want to accumulate a little points in this thing?
I don't think he cares.
All right, Riley, are we still open or are we closing?
Yeah, do not listen to Nerf Herder. The answer is not always D. In fact, it is never D.
It could be D.
Here comes Riley. Is it closed, Riley?
Still open.
Okay, it's still open, so if you...
You still have a chance.
Yes. Riley will let us know.
So, do you know what you're doing? Answer A, exclamation point A. Answer B, exclamation point B. Answer C, exclamation point C. Or answer D, exclamation point D.
In the meantime, why don't you tell us a little bit more about... Wait, are you closing, Riley?
It's closed.
Okay, it is closed.
It is closed.
Next one.
All right. The next question I want to ask you now, because we're going to encounter something else along this road for sure. These will come and grab you, along with the guinea finks, answer C. Along with the guinea finks,
Riley,
answer C.
Can you mute? Sorry.
Yes, is Riley
yeah,
chatting?
Still, there we go.
Goodness, Riley.
He's muted. Okay, go ahead.
So along with the guinea finks, another little, slummo that works for the Lord of Hughes are these characters. Go ahead and go to that other picture.
Which one? Sorry.
You know which one. The other character.
This one? This one?
Yes, indeed. No. Goodness gracious. Right after the guinea fink.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was looking at the chat.
CameraMandi.
I'm sorry. I was looking.
Anyway,
okay, go ahead.
We're likely to encounter these creatures as well, and they'll cut your face. So the question is, are they called Ugin? Answer A. Are they called Scroogan? Answer B. Are they called Flugin? Answer C. Or are they called Blotsmuggles? Answer D. Go ahead, Nerf Herder. Answer Blotsmuggles.
Blotsmuggles. That's an interesting name.
Blugin, Scroogan, Flugin, or Blotsmuggles. Answer A. Exclamation point A. Exclamation point B. Exclamation point C. Or exclamation point D. Make your choice.
Smart Blotsmuggles would be a great name for like a
Blotsmuggle.
A goblin. A goblin.
It's a Blotsmuggle. I'm a Blotsmuggle. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, we all like Okay, yeah. Everyone loves Blotsmuggles.
Well, who
But they're not voting for it.
Do not vote for Blotsmuggles.
Right, Trey.
You will lose.
Yeah.
How do y'all like Tiok? Isn't he something? This is Harry's character. Yes, he made a portrait, and here he is living color, right in the.
This one.
Tiok, right there. Yes, living color in the world of Zyathé, right?
Great portrait.
Yes, and of course, Lokbutt is our marvelous Corey, and this is one of the more interesting characters. This one is not actually one of our people. This
but my question is, what race is?
He is at least partially of the Duna Hadreen, which is the Dark Elven folk.
Ah.
Perhaps full, perhaps not. You can't really tell. But he certainly has quite an aggressive scar upon his visage.
Oh, I didn't notice. Okay, are we closed, Riley, for this one?
Yep, closed.
Okay, this one's closed. We can do the next one.
All right. But of all these things we might encounter as we traverse the road heading toward the cairn, the worst of them all be the Lord of the Glamour Wood himself. But can you even tell me his name? Is the name the Lord of Blues? No, that's B.B. King. It's not A. Is it the Lord of Snooze? Answer B. Is it the Lord of Cruise? Answer C. Or is it answer D, the Lord of Hues? Make your choice. Answer A, exclamation point A. Answer B, exclamation point B. Answer C, exclamation point C. And answer D, exclamation point D. Let's see who gets it. Now, Nerf Herder, if you answer D, you're going to be right. Ha!
So let's see who doesn't get it, I guess.
I wonder if anybody's not going to get this
No,
one.
I think
Nerf Herder's going
got
to answer A just
Lord
to be contrarian.
Twinkletoes. I kind of like that one. I feel like the guinea pig might have called him Lord Twinkletoes a few times.
Lord Twinkletoes.
Yes.
Do, 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 do. That's what I looked like in that altered thing with my pink beard. I was the Wizard of Twinkletoes. Yes.
I love that.
All I needed was glitter. I just needed a little glitter.
I was going to say that Nerf Herder now feels like he's justified and very correct in all things. So
Nerf Herder, Nerf Herder, Nerf Herder.
Okay. Let's have like a few more seconds of voting.
Oh,
and then...
just running out of time. Tick,
Yes.
tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. By the way, the ticking clock is definitely something you should use when you are game mastering. Maybe we'll talk more about that in our future. The ticking clock. A wonderful way to build tension and suspense as part of your game mastery arsenal. Haha, indeed! My friends, I hope you're enjoying all of this madness. I hope it was a wonderful show for you today. I have nothing else more to say because we are over time, right, CameraMandi?
Yes, I think, Riley, are we closed out on that last one?
Come on, Riley! Riley,
Yep.
Riley.
Okay, can we do our drawing?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So you need to name Riley, the winner of the first question, the winner of the second question, and the winner of the third question, and then we will say goodbye for today. I hope you loved it, my friends. We're trying so hard to make this fun for you. We are trying so hard to make it informative for you, and hopefully a little weird.
I know, Kiminora, that I said it would never be D, and so did Alphinius last
I meant that
episode.
day it will never be D.
Oh, okay. To be fair, he did send us the answers ahead of time, and I just didn't look at them. So
Now listen,
I thought I was being
listen
truthful.
now, the answers are going to get a little tougher as we go into the real game
I'm
now,
excited
right?
for the puzzles.
And there's going to be some interesting puzzles that I think are going to be fun. I think it's going to be a lot of joy in this little journey. They'll be fast, but build up your points because I promise it's going to be a good prize at the end. Promise.
A grand prize?
The grand prize.
Okay.
Yes.
Riley, how are we doing on those winners?
Riley.
Oh, I've got them pulled.
All right.
Okay,
Ready to
they're
go.
ready to go. Okay. Riley's
Announce them, Riley. Do it, my friend. Go.
First winner was Nusku42. Second winner was
Let's do 42.
Astagarnan.
Ha
Sorry, what was that, Riley?
Astagarnan.
Astagar!
I'll just announce it in the chat.
Yay! Hoo, hoo, hoo.
And then finally, Fusion
that's
GM
a three.
Grayson.
Fusion GM
Fusion-
Grayson.
It wasn't Nerf Herder. It was GM Grayson. I know who that is. Hello, Sir Keith. I get that handle because of Grayson being in there. Hopefully, Keith is going to join us on the show here pretty soon, talk about the Adjvin Dune along with AJ and Marvelous Jim. Should be a fun show when we do that one. Excited for it all. I hope you all had a wonderful day today. I hope we gave you a good stuffs and gave you a good start to your weekend. Anything else, CameraMandi? Questions? Something quick?
Just really quickly, make sure to DM the Twitch, Whisper the Twitch channel. Is that right, Riley?
Yep,
Yes,
that's
don't, if
fine.
you are a winner,
Either
make
Gooey
sure you
Cube or
whisper
me.
back to Riley before you go. Don't leave.
Because you
Go.
don't have your headphone and you're talking over, right?
Oh, I apologize, Riley. Continue on.
Okay. That's not... Okay, go ahead, Riley.
We just need you to send us your email either via private whisper or you can direct message Rogue Salad. That's me on Twitch personally if you need to.
Okay. you are good to go.
Thank you, Riley.
Sign up.
I would never make fun of Riley, would I, CameraMandi?
Oh, never. But Riley is so perfect.
He is so perfect.
Okay.
You, my friends, much love from all of us at Gooey Cube. May all your adventures be sticky. Ha ha!